Radiant team back.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Global Esports Cup here on the GameShow Azubu channel. We're gonna have a best of two, in fact, two best of twos in a row, although we may spread them out a little bit. You guys have to listen closely if you want to know where these games are actually gonna be happening. Golden Boys have a doubleheader. First going up against No Logic Gaming, then going up against Goomba Gaming. I'm Mikelorus, gonna be your only caster for right now. But yeah, we were delayed because everyone was kind of here, but then no one, Garter actually on No Logic Gaming wasn't able to connect. So instead we have this random guy named Beast Mode, alternate name Tucker. I'm sure you guys may be familiar if you watch some person's stream in the past, I think, not recently, I don't know. By the way, should be interesting for sure. We had the IO banouts in No Logic Game already, more so out of their comfort zone than not. But again, we have a couple of games that are going to be running concurrently between the two Azubu channels. Right now, you guys are on the second channel. You can see if you're embedded, then it doesn't matter. But if you're on the Azubu page, then you have the _2. The next game for Golden Boys is most likely going to happen on the other channel, as this one is actually going to be going over to the CIS qualifier kind of thing, the best of threes, where I'm going to be casting CIS rejects versus scary faces. So you guys may have to move a little bit if you're actually going to want to find the games that you want to find. But I have faith that you guys are smart enough. And I know that's stupid of me to believe that chat has any sort of smarts, but, you know, I'm sure you guys can figure it out. But here we go. Everyone is actually here for both sides. Still Reborn is eating up their names, so I'm probably going to call them the wrong things occasionally, but rest assured everyone is here, with the exception being Garter replaced by Tucker. And, well, Night Stalker's in, so, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's not going to be that big just yet, though, for No Logic Gaming. Oh, they banned themselves out. It's the Night Stalker ban from NLG. They do go ahead and grab the Lich and the Tusk. Now, this is a pretty defensive start from the No Logic Gaming side, with the potential of going super aggressive if they find the correct openings. That being said, it's going to be really hard to find the correct openings up against the Golden Boys opening picks. Quap and Undying are very much so on the aggressive side of things for Golden Boys. Undying probably one of the most offensive early picks you can make, unless you want to just go like all ham YOLO and grab a Jakiro or something. Probably not a good idea. Usually the openings with Queen of Pain, or if you're going to go for this like Queen of Pain X other hero opening, it's usually going to be a little bit more of a defensive hero. Tusk, Winter Wyvern, Dazzle, probably the big three. But this one does signify that Golden Boys at least want to lock down the early game, perhaps just a little bit more. I do think I like the Shadow Fiend Undying perhaps a little bit more, just me personally. The distinctions, of course, are very small. I just feel like if you're going to be looking for the early game fights, you should also be looking for the towers. And Shadow Fiend can do towers a lot better than Queen of Pain can. But Queen of Pain is more so in the fighting department, so there's trade-offs, of course, from both sides. But No Logic Gaming with like a hero like Spirit Breaker still in the pool, it's a dangerous situation to be in. All these just run at you aggressive heroes that No Logic Gaming probably has to prepare for. And Lich is an okay hero to have in that regard, limiting the Undying's experience. Yeah, ideally, you would want to have that matchup. Is going to hinder his aggression in that he has to wait a couple more levels before he's as aggressive as he otherwise would be. And aside from that, Frost Blast, having the Ice Armor, those are nice tools up against the Undying for sure. And the Tusk has some similarly defensive spells coming out from the energy side. Now, all of that being said, these two heroes are perhaps good at surviving a dive from the Undying, but as far as applying damage back onto him and killing him off, these heroes don't really do it. Tusk more so on the lower end of damage until he gets those levels. Same thing for the Lich. Like the Lich's base damage is like what, 50? Between 40 and 50, something like that. I want to say 48 at level 1. I might be wrong, but if I'm right, hell yeah, I'm awesome. We have the Razor and Wind Ranger going to be banned out. Golden Boys then going to grab a Slardar. This is almost as aggressive as it gets. Again, this doesn't really seem like it's going to be a quote-unquote Slardar draft. It just seems like it's going to be Slardar for the early Blink Dagger, ideally. Then walk around, crush everyone, and get those kills like clockwork. Just rotate around all the time. Blink, crush, kill, blink, crush, kill, blink, crush, kill. And No Logic Gaming, the Disruptor pick, though nice up against that, kind of assuming Disruptor isn't the one to get jumped, is not really going to be a hero that can jam Slaughter out of that playstyle. You will make it kind of inconvenient for the Slaughter to blink, crush, because you can't blink, crush, kill if you can't attack them after you blink, crush. And NLG don't really have that much damage right now, and I'm really concerned for them in that regard. Like, these are all fine heroes to have. Disruptor, I generally like a little bit more so as a counter pick, but just being a ranged poker, he does it very well. Witch Doctor could have also fit the bill there. But Golden Boys, they're pretty tanky right now, and if they just dive into No Logic Gaming, I'm not really sure if their offensive tools are going to be enough. And hey, there we go. It's going to be the Shadow Fiend for Golden Boys. So they're going, yeah, pretty early on right now, just looking for another support. Ideally with some range to give the Undying perhaps a little bit of help in lane. But Golden Boys, they're going to look to hit a really hard mid-game timing. Now, when you have Queen of Pain or Shadow Fiend in your team, generally you want to be making some sort of play in the mid-game. At least try to get a couple of towers down, maybe claim a Roche here or there. You know, those types of objectives. When you have both, you're pretty much going all in the early game. Slaughter, Shadow Fiend do scale decently, but I won't expect Slaughter to actually build as if he wants to scale into the late game. Generally, he just wants to, at least in this draft, get a Blink Dagger, get a Force Staff, and then just be that initiator for the Shadow Fiend and Queen of Pain. Play very much so like a clockwork. But for the NLG side, what damage source are they going to have right now? I mean, most of the mid laners are banned out at this point. Like Wind Ranger, Razor, even Templar Assassin, Ember, Queen of Pain, Shadow Fiend, all unavailable. But they're going to grab a Gyrocopter, and it doesn't seem like that's going to be for their mid lane. Although that is possible, we have seen that a little bit. The Gyrocopter pick is probably one of the most self-sufficient safe laners in the game. If you expect to be fighting early, Gyrocopter is the carry hero that you want. Does really well early and scales decently moving onwards. But still, it's the mid lane here that's really going to be problematic here for the NLG side. Going up against most likely the Shadow Fiend, and there aren't really many great matchups versus the SF. I feel like NLG almost have to just go straight in for like a Viper or something like that. Like one of those really slow heroes. Suddenly not possible anymore. So, well, I guess it's nice to know that I'm right. It's going to be the Bane banned out from the NLG side. Like that one a lot. Does pretty well with Slaughter setup, just Nightmare into Crush, into, you know, a whole bunch of other painful spells as well. But if you really want that, you can always get it. Dazzle's going to be the last pick for Golden Boys. A little bit more sustain, a little bit more go in and dive power for the Golden Boys side. And that is probably going to be, for the most part, their game plan. NLG, grab Excalibur's Tiny. Now, this is the hero that I feel like he plays almost every single game, so he's very comfortable on this hero. That being said, it looks like it's going to be a Tiny Lich dual lane for the NLG side. Ooh, please, game frames. Hello, Dota. Don't worry about it, guys. I'll disconnect. You can see I was investigating who, in fact, this really was. Yes, I know. And, yeah, Tiny is the pick. So, Tiny Lich in a dual lane is a decent matchup versus the Shadow Fiend. It's, you know, mostly just going to come to his experience. You can harass the Shadow Fiend quite a bit, even threaten some kills occasionally, and Shadow Fiend probably not going to get that much help. He usually just doesn't get that much help unless there's an Earthshaker on his side, which clearly there's not. For the Golden Boy side, the last pick, Dazzle, is really for that mid-game, and for NLG, this Tiny in the mid-game is going to be doing very well if he has a good early game. And that's really the big if of things. Like, if you are unable to actually get off to a good start as this Tiny Lich, if they like go in a little bit too deep, if they end up dying to the Shadow Fiend, then, well, this Tiny is going to be very much so out of commission. You can still Avalanche toss someone, but as far as getting those Avalanche tosses to insta-kill and then get away and then try to reinitiate once that Avalanche is back up, that's not really going to be happening. It's very, very difficult to actually have that if you had a slow early game. So NLG, they do have, in theory, some pretty good scaling right now, but I'm still not really sure if they're going to have enough mid-game power to compete up against Golden Boys. And Golden Boys have a hell of a lot of aggression in the early mids, or mostly just mid stages of the game. You know, once you get one item on the Queen of Pain, one item on the Shadow Fiend, like Mechanism, Sanjiasha, Orchids, Aghanims, like any of those types of items, get the Blink Dagger on Slardar, and then the aggression is going to step up. It's going to be stepped up in quite a big way for the NLG side. But we're going to be loading in, guys, on the Golden Boys side. Now, they don't have all of their names, but I'm going to go down the list, and it's going to be, it should be Spartan on the NLG side is on the Tusk, Milan's on the Disruptor, Excalibur's Tiny, got Tucker on the Gyrocopter, and Mitch is on the Lich. For the Golden Boys side, it's, yeah, damn it, why don't they have their freaking names up? Maybe next time, I believe, on the Undying. Chihaya should be Madra on the Queen of Pain. Metagame player, I don't know. I think this is Keezer. I want to say Skanks and Skylark. But again, sorry guys, no names here. They're all here, rest assured, but if they're not properly tagged up because of Reborn or whatever, then, well, I gotta call them what they're tagged as. But yeah, you guys can look for yourself. Everyone's here, don't worry. We'll see who's actually able to get these runes. It looks like it probably should just be an even split. Ah, yeah, Madra. It is Madra, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. He's gonna be playing the Queen of Pain. And he's gonna probably grab the bottom rune. Excalibur really wants his. Shadow Fiend level 1, not exactly super threatening here. Excalibur, well, he's going to get decayed right off the bat. Not a good start. However, go Rocket Barrage on Katy Perry. Snowball in onto the Shadow Fiend. They're all going to focus him down. Now, this is going to take a lot of damage to Excalibur, but they will grab first blood on the Shadow Fiend. Excalibur now getting beaten down by maybe next time. One more decay will get the kill. Now they're looking for another crush. It's going to land on 2 heroes. The Undying has stolen 8 strength already, hitting very hard in this fight. Another Rocket Barrage is there, but the heal will keep the Undying alive, so we can keep punching these heroes. They're going to try to go for the Tusk. He does have a snowball. One more decay, though, will kill him off. 2 kills now for the Golden Boys side. Now they're looking for a third. It's Milan, who's completely tapped out of mana and often is right on his ass with the boots first. Gets hit with the heal bomb, gets punched down. One more punch will do it. There it is. 3 kills for Golden Boys, 1 for NLG. And Undying is not a hero you want to mess with early on. He's going to steal your strength. He's going to make your life very miserable. Even now, Excalibur does have Avalanche Toss. He does have enough mana to cast both of them. Not quite enough damage to kill off this Undying, however. Now, going for that first blood kill onto the Shadow Fiend. Now, that is a really good start, in theory, for the NLG side. And that is, you can see their real focus fire there. They all converge immediately on the Shadow Fiend. They were getting zoned out somewhat by the Slardar, but using the snowball to get in, you realize that he was the easiest hero to kill off, and they actually did do that. So, I mean, it is nice, of course, for NLG. The problem being is that they really didn't have any damage output after that. Tiny does hit quite hard, but he's very fragile, having 0 armor, and having lost strength, he's going to be hitting for even less than what you see right now. God damn it, guys. So yeah, Tiny not able to do a hell of a lot. Disruptor is a very bad hero to have in those exchanges. If you can keep him at a range so that he can always be poking, sometimes he's going to be useful, but other than that, Thunderstrike, it's pretty good at level 1. It does quite a bit of damage, but you know, the cooldown is kind of prohibitive in that long fight, and the Undying is just king. Even better than a Gyrocopter, who maybe in a previous patch would have been able to do some serious damage there. But other than that, it's just going to be the Undying absorbing all the damage, doing all the damage, and getting the vast majority of the kills. So maybe next time is going to be pretty fat moving forward, and though they did kill out the Shadow Fiend, I'm not actually sure who got the bounty runes. Shadow Fiend still has such a good matchup versus this Tiny over in the mid lane that the bottle for this Shadow Fiend shouldn't really be that far off despite having died once. Excalibur, you can see, is taking chip damage like nobody's business. And he could occasionally return fire with an avalanche with a toss, but it seems like they're just going to have the Lich down here by himself. This is a solo off-lane Lich for the NLG side. I gotta be honest, I didn't really expect this one again. I was talking about, you know, Tusk off-lane, Lich, Tiny mid-lane, Gyrocopter, Disruptor up towards top, which is perhaps probably the most vanilla way they could have laned this. Now, the upside of this is that they will have higher levels of sacrifice. They're going to cut into the Queen of Pain's experience. The downside of this is that Queen of Pain matchup versus the Lich is actually really bad for the Lich. And, of course, top lane, well, they're going to chase after Milan. Won't find him. Charge will be thrown, won't do that much. But yeah, Lich doesn't have a really great lane here, and getting Lich experience is very nice. He is a very bad hero with farm, however, can't really do much with it. Maybe an early mech, but look at this. Just jump into right clicks and Shadow Strike, and Lich is going to take a beating here. And the Queen of Pain has to fear Frost Blast, and that is a a pretty decent nuke if you actually have a chance to level it up. But I don't really see the upside of putting this Lich on the bottom lane. Of course, having a Tusk on the top lane is going to really be useful up against the Slardar. Getting the Gyrocopter into melee range with that snowball, that is incredibly useful as well. But is it more useful than having a Lich who is in this lane absorbing experience, or stealing experience rather, from 3 heroes? I'm not convinced. You gotta remember, like, sacrifice is automatic denies. It's automatic denies, so if you can deny 3 heroes, you want to do that more so than if you're going to be denying just 1. Yeah, that's just the math. That's just how it works. It works out better for the Lich if he was, in theory, on this top lane. Now, Fast Chain Frost is a powerful spell, but it is not something that is guaranteed to do some damage. Golden Boys can play around that to some extent. Excalibur, always going to get dove a little bit. Long range raise, is that going to do it? Oh, 16 HP! Excalibur lives, albeit barely. Still, it's the roaming Undying. Guess you don't really expect that. Slaughter is not getting that much farm in this lane, because this is the upside of this lane is that it has so much kill power. Oh, the Shard's gonna bump him out. Katy Perry gonna slip on out of there. What the hell was that? Who the hell laughed there? I've been hearing some like weird laughs from Dota, like so much so that I thought I had another stream on in the background, and I didn't, because that would be unprofessional and wrong. Yeah, I have no idea who's laughing. By the way, this Slaughter is going to be getting experience. Not really much that NLG can do to keep him out of experience range as far as poking is concerned. They can threaten the kills very easily, especially with level 2 rocket barrage on this gyrocopter. But for right now, Tucker just wants the last hit. That's about all he is here for. This Queen of Pain is going to have a pretty free time, though. We can already see the Shadow Fiend absolutely dominate Excalibur over in mid. Invis Rune going to keep him completely safe as well. Metagame player is going to keep swagging out over in the mid lane. Bottle is now up on both heroes. So it's, you know, perhaps not as bad as it could be for Excalibur. He actually does have his bottle. But still, this lane isn't really going to get that much better, especially since he doesn't really have that much help incoming. I can't really see him getting any help. Chihaya, though, taking right clicks from the Lich, will blink out, and now grabs his bottle. I was just about to say, like, Queen of Pain is very low in this bottom lane for some reason, much lower than she really should be. Bottle is flying out to her, but then again, Tusk is coming. Ooh, one shard will snipe Chihaya right now. I think she could probably get the bottle onto her person and be safe before the Tusk arrives, especially since the Tusk thinks the Queen of Pain retreated fully. He did not see the courier there. And couriers do not blow smoke. So it is just going to be Chihaya to chug the entire bottle. He'll be fine. Shadow Fiend, though, going to wander into the Tusk. It looks like the Tusk is probably going to stick around and try to block this stack attempt. So I guess, you know, this it worked out, I guess, but still, Tusk is going to leave the top lane to his own devices, and still we have this Lich kind of awkwardly positioned on this bottom lane. Now he does have level 6, and you can see he is above the Queen of Pain in levels. And that may be nice, but level 6 Lich, as powerful as he is, really needs to have a good position in those fights if you're going to be winning anything with Chain Frost. Chain Frost, again, is a very low floor, has a very high ceiling. That's not exactly a spell that you want to put all your faith into. You want a nice, consistent spell, like Decay, which Undying is using to pretty good effect. Just make these heroes scare up towards the top lane. Now Slaughter is actually coming in. Sprint is here. They have a pointed tombstone. Glimpse back at a Katy Perry. She's going to be yanked all the way back, but still zombies are stacking up on the Disruptor. 2 stacks of Decay. They'll respect the Rocket Barrage. They don't quite know where the Tusk is, I think. They will fall back, although I do think they could have gone a little bit more forward for that. Milan's going to get salved up. He'll be at full HP soon enough, but yeah, Glimpse keeping you safe, although can't really depend on that to happen every single time. Excalibur going to get jumped in the river right now. Undying is here. Excalibur grabs a double damage rune. Avalanche toss onto metagame player. One big hit, not quite going to do it. Needs a little bit more. And Excalibur will have a little bit more in just a couple seconds. He's going to try to look for the Ancient Deny. Will get it. Excalibur now is going to get some backup from the Tusk. They are going to trap the Dazzle, toss the Undying onto his buddy, and they're both trapped in the shards right now. Excalibur doesn't have another Avalanche, but now he does. And he's going to use it with a Snowball. Often is going to fall as well. Excalibur plus Tusk going to grab a whole boatload of kills here for NLG, as it is going to be a 3-3 game. For Golden Boys, double damage Tiny is absolutely no joke ever. He just grabbed level 6 right beforehand, so you know it doesn't exactly hurt. Yeah, when you're hitting for 128 a pop, that already is gonna hurt. When you're doing 250 a pop, it hurts even more so. Missile gonna do a 180 onto Katy Perry right now. Shards are available to wall him in, and he will try to slip away, but there's a field blocking his path out, and it looks like Tucker will just grab that kill. One more blast with the gun will get the kill again on the Slaughter. 3-4, and NLG are starting to get their kills up. And again, they are the team that's in no rush here. As long as Excalibur is having a decent time, and after getting those couple kills and assists, he's having a much better time. Which is, I don't know what he's going for. Whoa, Courier is loaded up. Tucker, so greed. Yeah, I don't really know what this Lich is going to be angling for. The solo off-lane Lich doesn't seem like it has a really high ceiling. Like right now, it's pretty much Lich at his peak. He doesn't really get that much stronger, at least offensively. So for NLG, I think it might be time to have this Lich roam around a little bit. I mean, Frost Blast does do a lot of damage, especially with Chain Frost. You land 2 bounces on a hero at this stage of the game, you're going to be getting those kills easily. However, you know, again, Chain Frost is just a finicky skill. And leveling the Lich a little bit more in this lane is going to up the defensive power of NLG. You know, it's getting some sacrifice, getting some ice armor, and that's nice. But I'm not sure if it's quite worth the trade-off. Even though the Gyrocopter and Tiny are doing quite well for themselves, Queen of Pain actually falling behind the Lich quite a bit. This Madra is having a little bit of difficulty going up against this Lich. Perhaps it's just not a matchup that he's accustomed to, because let's be honest, when have you ever seen an off-lane Lich before? Yeah, just fearing the Frost Blast, which Lich can do very freely. This is usually what he does in any given lane, really. Just spam out Frost Blast, use that sacrifice to keep the tanks full, and over towards mid. Oh, his metagame player's a little bit in trouble. Grave is available right now, and it will be used. They land a couple raises, Snowball out, however. Blink forward the Queen of Pain. They're going to cut them both off. Screw Pain's going to grab one. Chai has a Sonic Wave. Will not be enough to kill off Excalibur, so she's going to hold on to that. Great positioning there from the Dazzle, making sure that the Shadow Fiend, well, he was probably going to get jumped. They had Observer Wards in the area as well. Or an Observer Ward in the area. Probably Observer Ward enough to recognize that was happening. So sticking the Dazzle there, making sure the Shadow Fiend is going to be kept alive. And, well, that's exactly what Golden Boys have to do if they want to get back onto this mid-game aggression plan. Which so far it's having its fair share of issues. Not really going to be the end of the world. Far from it. The Slaughter does need quite a bit of farm to actually get this Blink Dagger and over towards mid lane. Oh, Dazzle in a lot of trouble. He's going to heal himself. Toss Avalanche can do a lot of damage. Will it get the kill? Oh, it will. Now they're going to snowball out to the creep. Very well done so far, but here comes the Slaughter. He's going to get glimpsed all the way back. However, field goes up, traps the Undying, and that'll save Excalibur, and that'll save the Tusk. Now they do see Milan right now. He's going to not teleport out. He will fall. Shadow Fiend is going to draw that kill. And at the same time, Queen of Pain is going to solo the Lich down towards bottom lane. Very soft shear that Lich, despite how many levels he has. They clear up the Tombstone over in mid, and overall it is going to be a 2-for-1 exchange for the Golden Boys side. And that was a very smooth move from the Tusk. You know, just walk in with the Avalanche toss and the shards, of course. Use the snowball to escape. Very, very smooth, very slick. But the brute force of Golden Boys is pretty substantial at this point. You gotta watch out for those raises. They hurt like hell. Similarly, this Queen of Pain is now maxed out in the Scream. 2 points in the Shadow Strike even, plus a Sonic Wave, of course. So Madra's going to be doing some serious damage right now. And Lich, he dropped the Chain Frost, he dropped the Frost Blast. But again, unless that Chain Frost actually bounces, it is just another nuke. And 280 is below average, really, for, you would expect a level 4 spell to be doing about 300. 280 is slightly less than that, of course. Wise is going to get jumped, Snowball in, he's going to grab himself beforehand. So they're not even going to waste the Avalanche toss. Good recognition there from Excalibur. Yet still, this is a constantly threatened lane in mid. Trying to get this tiny head over towards top lane, though. Katy Perry going deep onto the disruptor. Call down is there. Tucker's in there with the Rocket Barrage. They'll kill off the Slardar. And it will be Milan to barely limp out of there with just 30 HP. Oof, very, very close there. For Slaughter, it is worth it to go for those types of kills. Even if you die, get yourself a little bit more experience. And he needs to race for that Blink Dagger as fast as possible. And losing a little bit of gold here and there, it's worth the risk of gaining a lot more. So far, however, I would say NLG are doing just fine. They're keeping the Gyrocopter on top of the net worth chart. They're making sure that the Slardar is having a difficult time. Delaying the Blink Dagger as much as possible. Again, this is what NLG want to be doing at any point in this game, or any point versus any Slaughter, really. And Golden Boys, yeah, their Shadow Fiend is still on top, I guess. Mostly because he's clearing out those stacks. But once he gets to the mech, I don't really know if the teammates of the Shadow Fiend will actually be ready to go in. Again, Dazzle will always be ready to go in. Queen of Pain, kind of the same way. It looks like she's going to be going for an Orchid, however, and she will not have the Orchid by the time the Shadow Fiend has a mech. That's just not going to happen. Similarly, Slaughter will also probably not have the Blink Dagger by the time they want to go in. Oh, they're going to Shard Trap often right now. Rocket Barrage onto Katy Perry, though. It is land a 2-man crush. Not going to save him versus this call down. One missile going to land. Second missile going to do a lot of damage to Often right now. They kill off the Tombstone. Now pop the Sigil. Jump in for Chaya. Can try to go for Tucker. It's not going to happen. Battery Assault is there. Or Rocket Barrage, rather. And they're going to snowball right in. Sonic Wave through is going to hit onto absolutely everyone. But here comes the Lich. Chain Frost will be deployed. Will only bounce once onto the Dazzle. But everyone from NLG actually going to survive. Such low amounts of HP. Frost Blast now onto the Shadow Fiend. Excalibur is going to make his return in. Avatos gets the kill. And that's going to be a full 5-man wipe in favor of NLG. A 5-0 exchange as Golden Boys get so close to so many kills. It was a great jump in there from the Queen of Pain. You know, Blink in, Screw Pain, Sonic Wave. Unfortunately, it's just short of getting those kills on everybody. And of course, this is going to give Excalibur that much more gold towards his Blink Dagger, which he is very close to, especially given the start against the Shadow Fiend. Again, Tiny versus Shadow Fiend, not a great matchup for the Tiny, especially when Tiny is all alone with no rotations to help him. But a couple of campouts there from Spartan, and all of a sudden things are going a lot better for Excalibur. Blink Dagger will be up on him way before it's up on the Slardar, who's now all the way down at 400 gold. And yeah, Mechanism is up on the Shadow Fiend, so this is the point where they would like to go for some pushes. And that's not going to happen at this point. They're just not strong enough. Especially with what NLG have going for them. This Lich is going to go straight for mech. Very interesting playstyle from this Lich. And that Chain Frost didn't really do a whole lot. It looked like it was going to clean up, but everyone was already dead by the time it actually landed. I'm sure if they made the Chain Frost projectile a little bit faster, then Lich... They could just like keep on adding movement speed to the Chain Frost until Lich eventually becomes like a top S+ tier pick. Like add 100 movement speed to the Chain Frost, who knows what's going to happen then. I don't know. But yeah, it is still able to do a lot of damage. They're going to smoke up, look for the bottom lane. Now they will see perhaps that this camp is empty. I'm actually not going to check it just yet, so they don't know exactly if anyone is there. If they went just a little bit more to the right, they could have seen it empty. But instead, they have their eyes set on higher targets. It's a Shadow Fiend. They know exactly where he is. Avalanche Toss will not instantly get the kill. With the Shard's Walrus Punch, it may just do it. However, Grave is there. Lots of damage to the SF. Now he's going to mech up, pop the Requiem. Will be canceled by the Chain Frost, which is now bouncing cleanly away. Now Lich is going to get chased down, amped up. And it looks like this Lich may just be dead. Especially with the Crush landing. Lich to fall. That is the downside of Chain Frost. It has a mini stun, but then it just like goes to the creep waves and then just does a whole lot of nothing. They kept their Shadow Fiend alive. Again, Golden Boys using the Shadow Fiend for the most part as bait. Of course, with the mech and stick charges, you get backed up to like, what, 300 HP pretty easily after the Avatos combo, and everything else drops into 1 HP from the Grave. So that's a nice little turnaround there for Golden Boys, but, you know, even though Lich has an off-lane position, it's still a Lich at the end of the day. Even if you start killing him off, it's not a big deal. Because he already is, again, offensively maxed out. I guess even more so than usual, level 2 Chain Frost. Which is very rarely seen until much later on in the game. I don't think I've seen a Lich grab the Chain Frost this fast, pretty much ever. Yeah, for NLG, they're still in no rush. Of course, Excalibur wants to be rotating around pretty consistently looking for these kills. Slardar would like to do the same in about 1,000 gold. 1,000 gold is quite a lot for a Slardar to farm, however. Not really that much for someone like a Shadow Fiend who could just raise spam and then get himself that 1,000 Gs easily. Slardar doesn't really have that luxury. He did, I believe, get the kill. No, he got the assist on the Lich. Kind of sucks there for Katy Perry, but who knows. This Slardar is really hurting right now. At this point, you want to have your Blink Dagger. At this point, especially in Golden Boy's draft, they want to have that initiation tool. Because right now, they don't really have much of anything. It is really just them being on the responsive, hoping that NLG, you know, botch their combo or something like that, or you know, try to overcommit, get too many kills, and then it's going to be Queen of Pain jumping in, Slardar sprinting into position for a crush. Very slow methods of initiating there for Golden Boys, if you could even call it initiating at all. But I'm pretty sure you can't. It's just responding to what NLG have. And because of that, it's going to be up to NLG to really be careful about who they initiate upon. Right now, Excalibur thinking about going for the Undying, but he knows that there's a tower right there. He knows that if he goes in, there's no guarantee that he'll get out. He'll just play it slow. In the meantime, the rest of NLG, they're over in the mid lane. Got SNY being built up by Tucker, and, well, everyone else, they don't really have a ton, as you would expect from them. Arcane Boots on Milan, that's just about it. They're going to smoke up now. And the Gyrocopter may be playing the bait role that the Shadow Fiend was playing from before. The Observe Ward is going to see Madra on this bottom lane at least. I don't know if they know that Slardar is there, and it seems like NLG is going to go straight down the lane. Again, they kind of want to use Excalibur as bait, or at least as much as they can. It's still going down towards the bottom lane. Here it comes for the NLG side. Unfortunately for them, I think they did see everyone retreat out. So yeah, just playing it a little bit too safe. Again, if you walk up the hill and you end up blowing your smoke and there's a Slardar and Queen of Pain waiting for you, that's a very easy way to lose a couple heroes. So it's definitely the safest style that NLG could have used to approach that gank, but just a little bit too safe, too slow. Now over towards mid, Golden Boys with this mech want to make a play. If they win a fight, if they keep the Slardar alive, that's his Blink Dagger secured. The game player's going to get walled out, doesn't have haste runes, so he's not in that much trouble, although with the shards and the field, he's going to take a little bit of damage here. Well, actually, no damage at all. Excalibur can jump in, Avatos onto the Undying, tuck him into his allies right now. Undying will pop the Tombstone. Flesh Golem's there as well. Chain Frost will not bounce at all. The Sonic Wave will deploy, and so will the Shadow Fiend ultimate, but it's only the Disruptor to fall right now. We're still in the middle of everything. Metagame player still standing kind of strong. However, he doesn't have another mech. He'll fall. It's 2 for 2 so far. Excalibur has another Blink Dagger in just 1 second. He knows where his targets are. Blink in, probably towards the Dazzle. Oh, it's going to be the Slardar. Oh, they see him. They definitely see him. But Excalibur, there it is. Avatos. That's a dead fish. Double kill for Excalibur. The Golden Boys, they land all of their ultimates in that fight, and that is nice. And the Chain Frost was, of course, completely terrible from the Lich. Due in no part of his own. I mean, own fault. That was just Chain Frost being Chain Frost. Guy's going to jump in onto Tucker. It's not going to be enough, though. You don't really want to do that as a Queen of Pain. And yeah, even though they do land their Requiem, they do land their Sonic Wave. And the NLG side, they're just a little bit too spread out to get hit by that. Like the Requiem, I think, hit a couple people, but it didn't actually significantly damage anyone. So in the end, it was kind of a mediocre Requiem there from the Shadow Fiend. Of course, you're in the middle of the fight, you would expect, you know, if I just pop my Requiem, I should be doing fine here. But yeah, for the NLG side, they're just a little bit too spread out for that, and well, they end up punishing. So another 2200 on the Tiny, should be going for his Ags next. SMY still being built on Tucker. And then we have BKB on the Shadow Fiend, but at least Queen of Pain survives. That's going to be her second O-Staff coming up soon. Katy Perry now getting a little bit of time to farm up for that Blink Dagger, which would have made that fight so much easier for the Golden Boys side. Now, at a certain point, it's just not going to be... I mean, the Blink Dagger will always be useful, but it's not going to have the same explosive impact that the Golden Boys are hoping for the Slaughter to have. This is really the downside of putting the Slaughter in the off lane. You know, sometimes he's going to be getting some kills, sometimes he's going to be getting crapped on. This is just one of those latter times where you're just not getting anything, and the Blink Dagger will be extremely slow. Amplified damage is pretty good with the Shadow Fiend, but aside from that, no one else in Golden Boys really well equipped to deal with to I guess pile on to additional damage physical wise. Madra is, you know, not going to be going for that route, I don't think, at least. Going to run straight into the Gyrocopter, but takes a full rock rush to the face. Calldown is there as well. Is that going to get the kill? Shards are coming in, and Madra, he used Blink beforehand. Walrus Punch to get the kill. Good recognition there from Tucker that the Queen of Pain blinked into him. So, of course, she has no blink out. Easy. Guys, Garter is not playing. He had some internet issues, so it is Tucker standing in on the Gyrocopter. In 5-0-5, I can't say that NLG made a bad choice, at least not yet. Of course, the Gyrocopter did have a pretty free lane. He was up towards the top. He had a couple of supports near him. Maybe not the Lich support that I was expecting, but what matters is that now he has the SMY and drums and power tread strength. He's got all the small items. He's got his medium-sized item, the SNY. It's most likely it's going to be something like an MKB next. But Golden Boys, this is supposed to be what we're seeing from NLG. This is supposed to be what Golden Boys are supposed to do right about now. And they just can't because they don't have the necessary tools just yet. They finally have the Blink Dagger on Slaughter, so we're going to see some pretty big plays. There's the first one onto Milan. Blink Crush is there. One Rain is going to get the kill. Disruptor's taking him out for a little bit too long, but NLG seeing that instantly go into the Roche Pit. Excalibur somehow has found himself yet another double damage rune, and they will bring down Roshan pretty quickly. They have the mechanism, they have ice armor, so Roshan not going to be attacking super fast. In the meantime, for Golden Boys, they know that this is happening. They're going to try to make a beeline for this. Unfortunately for them, even with sprint, even with the smoke, I don't think they're going to get here in time. They've taken down the tier 1 tower, and it will be that classic tier 1 tower for Roshan trade. And for NLG, they're still pretty healthy here. Gyrocopter now going to grab a double life. Shards will fly. Catch a Shadow Fiend, however, no range to go in on that. They kind of look like they want to. Oh, blink in, long avalanche. Toss, he's trying to toss him back. Oh, just not quite in range, however. Excalibur will fall short. But that's fine, not getting the kill there. I mean, it would have been a great kill to have for sure, but for the most part, the only mission there was to get Roshan lose their tier 1 tower in exchange for it. And I'm pretty sure you could call that mission success. Either way, for the NLG side, they have almost the items on the Tiny, which means that point booster left. So far, we've seen one play from the Slardar, killing off the Disruptor. Oh, Milan failing to deny the mid tower. That sucks. Now we might be on the receiving end of yet another crush. The Disruptor is definitely one of the easiest targets to go for on the NLG side. But for Golden Boys, going for these single target pickoffs, I mean, that was fine a couple minutes ago. Now they have to look for more decisive fights. Onto Excalibur especially. Now, that's a good one, if they can get it. Problem is that Excalibur is level 14 right now. Just grabs his Aghanim Scepter, so he has like another like 300, 400 HP. No, let's say 300 HP. Let's say 300, because 400 might be a little bit too much. But yeah, now he's a lot more difficult to kill. Even if you Blink Crush him, he has maxed out Craggy, so he has that extra armor. And your hero like Slardar will be doing very, very little damage to a hero like Tiny. Unless he has BKB up and then Assault Cuirass, something like that. But you could bet if Slardar has those items, Tiny definitely has those items as well. Or at least enough gold to buy something similar to counter it. So Golden Boys, they're still playing as if they, are ahead and on their game plan. And to their credit, they're still getting a couple objectives here and there. Top lane tier 1 very easily taken. Top lane tier 2 now is going to get under siege. And for NLG, it seems like they have no interest in defending. Not mounting any sort of defense here. They do have this farm power of the Gyrocopter, of the Tiny. Losing one too many objectives towards Golden Boys. It's a pretty easy way for NLG to lose this lead that they've accrued. Teleportation's now coming in. Gonna be Tucker in the front lines right now, and, well, they'll look for a glimpse. Unfortunately for them, there is no vision here. No range either, although we do have Spartan. He's charging forward. Shards. He has him. He's gonna fire him blindly, not find anyone, unfortunately. That means no glimpse, that means no kill. It's a very slow game from both sides, even though Golden Boys, they should want to play this a lot more fast. They're going to blink in up towards top, most likely. Lich can hit with the crush. He does have his mechanism Force Staff as well. And he will Force Staff out, mechanism up. He will survive the Sonic Wave. Now the Static Storm going to be dropped on the Shadow Fiend. He does have his BKB. He'll pop that one immediately, snipe the Lich in the backside. In the meantime, Often taking a full Avalanche Toss combo will survive. Metagame player still with the BKB active. Oh, he's now going to get a little bit of help from the Slaughter. Crush onto 2. Excalibur taking a lot of damage right now, but here comes the call down from Tucker. Has the Aegis, and he's going to go over right in the front lines. Jaya's still in the back, however, just picking everyone apart. He's going to get a double kill in the meantime. Beast Mode still alive right now. We lose his Aegis. Excalibur is also still alive, who's not in a position to do more damage here. Jump in from Katy Perry looking for a crush. Oh, we'll get glimpsed right out of it. They're going to try to 2v1 Beast Mode right now. Dazzle will drop low, and Beast Mode will grab a triple kill immediately. Jaya's in the jungle right now. Blink Crush here from Katy Perry. Coming in like a wrecking ball. Beast Mode will finally fall. Excalibur, though, with an Avalanche Toss will cut the Queen of Pain. Now Katy Perry, the only one alive. Glimpse back is not in vision. And now Katy Perry, he actually might want to blink, turn around onto Milan right now. Gonna wait for the crush. There it is. Couple more hits. There's not much damage here from the Disruptor. We'll try to Thunderstrike. We'll try to race. Katy Perry is probably going to win this race. He will, but he will fall shortly after. And I officially have no idea who actually won that fight. I know that everyone on Golden Boys did go down, unless the Undying teleported out. I'm pretty sure he went down as well. And I'm pretty sure for NLG they survive with more heroes. So I'm pretty sure it's a slight win for NLG. Although only slight. The tower does survive in the end. They do also lose their Aegis. Gyrocopter putting up a hell of a fight beforehand. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, we're back in. But yeah, for Golden Boys, that was the type of fight that they really wanted to have, ideally 10 minutes ago. Obviously 5 minutes ago would have done pretty decently as well. That's when you want the Slaughter to be doing a lot of damage in these fights. Now he's not really doing that. I mean, amplifying to Blink Crush is still pretty decent, but it would have been a lot more decent a couple minutes ago. Excalibur, well, he sees everyone. Everyone sees him. Everyone will fall back. Yeah, this is a period in time where the NLG side have to rely more and more on the Tiny and more on the Gyrocopter, less so on everyone else. I mean, Static Storm, Walrus Punch, these are all still good tools. Chain Frost is just like not a huge payoff skill for the Lich offlane. I mean, he has a mechanism, he has a Force Staff. It's not bad, it's in fact very good, especially with maxed out Ice Armor. Like, this is ridiculous on Tiny. But is that actually good enough for right now? Excalibur is going to give chase to the Dazzle. I don't think the Dazzle is actually going to survive this. Excalibur, Avalanche, Beatdown, Toss, and is going to get the kill. Dazzle, unfortunately, sticking around for a little bit too long, will end up dying. And now NLG want to gear up for a bottom lane push. Again, Ice Armor is going to give them so much extra sustain versus this the physical right click of Golden Boys. If the Lich can survive, of course, which he didn't really for that much longer in that last fight. He got picked off first. Bottom lane tier 2 now in a lot of trouble for Golden Boys. Tiny's going to be beating this one down really, really quickly. And he'll kill off the creep wave as well, because that's what Tiny does. No real split push here from the Golden Boys side. A little bit of pressure over in mid. A little bit of pressure towards top, which is already kind of weakened. For NLG, they're going to say, okay, well, you could go ahead and go for those towers. We're going to go for your tier 3s right now. Excalibur doesn't have an Assault Cuirass or really that much attack speed at all. Toss actually misses the tower. That kind of sucks. But still, like, for Golden Boys, they have to make a defense here. This is where the Slardar is going to be at a premium. Blink Crush, like, look at the openings here for Blink Crush. There's a 3-man right now. There's like a 4-man kind of mixed in here. Like, there are openings here for the Slardar. He has to come in like a true wrecking ball. There it is, onto 2. Immediately Static Storm is there. Glimpse from Milan. And he held for right now. He's going to Glimpse Slardar, but he will fail it. Static Storm now completely wasted. They will mech up, call down as well, which will slow down everyone. Do quite a bit of damage as well as 2 rockets do land with the Shadow Fiend. They have a blink Avatos, but it seems like with the Static Storm kind of being wasted there by Milan, they will be unable to actually get anything else unless Excalibur has an Invis rune. Unfortunately, his path inwards is kind of blocked, so he's not going to get anything done yet. But Golden Boys, they don't have any sentries here. Why would they need sentries? There's no need for sentries against NLG. So this Excalibur Tiny, might just get a lot of free damage in. Blink, have a toss of the Shadow Fiend into the enemies. He does have his BKB up right now. He'll get Walrus Punch out of his Requiem channel, and it looks like he'll get healed up. He will pop his Requiem, doing so much damage this time. Snowball is there to save the Tiny for a little while longer. They'll Snowball back in fact, glimpse back onto metagame player. He's once again in the middle of the fray, and he's completely surrounded. He will pop Death Requiem again, doing a lot of damage. They're ready to the Chain Frost right now. Slaughter will buy back, who also gets picked off in the midst of that. NLG getting super wounded because of their inability to burst down that Shadow Fiend, but it is still a clean win for them. Queen of Pain just buys a straight BKB. Oh, they're gonna jump in onto the Queen of Pain. They're gonna annihilate her before her BKB actually comes up, and now she has no buyback. Is this gonna be Rax's? Hell, this might even be game for NLG. I mean, the tier 2 is still alive, so it's not gonna be game necessarily, but they're gonna glimpse back someone. It's gonna be the Undying. He's graved up, but for how long? As he's a zombie, the grave can't be that shallow. He will fall in the end. Bottom lane Rax is taken from NLG in just one big Doom push, where Golden Boys failed to make a defense. That was great initiation there from the Tiny. Blink, Avalanche, toss back. And taking out the Shadow Fiend first, again, using that combo again on the Queen of Pain afterwards. Zul'Karas still isn't quite up yet. It will be up very, very shortly, however, and NLG, they're going to cash in after that fight. Golden Boys were also forced to use buyback on the Slaughter, and that clearly didn't do that much. So Slaughter, what you see is what you get. Oh, he's going to get jumped by 2 supports right now. He's stuck in the Static Storm. There is no Chain Frost, nor is there another Frost Blast. Katy Perry will survive. Although Milan's looking for the glimpse back with the mechanism. Milan might have overextended now. Blink Crush here from the Slaughter. He will glimpse back the Shadow Beam, but he will die shortly after. Not really super impressed with this Disruptor play in that last fight, but hey, you know what? You got the Raxes, so you should be happy regardless. Excalibur's still really loaded up right now. He has the Hyperstone, and there's the Assault Cuirass. Oof, it's going to be a rough push for the NLG side, rough defense for Golden Boys. Again, this is really the position where they expected to be. You swap the roles right now, and I would say, yeah, that's pretty much how the game is supposed to be, if everything goes according to everyone's plan. NLG on the defensive, you know, perhaps struggling to make a couple of defenses here and there. But Golden Boys with the power of Shadow Fiend, Queen of Pain, just busting through every structure possible. Of course, using the initiation style of the Slaughter. But unfortunately, that's not going to be happening for Golden Boys, at least not in this game, at least not now. Getting pick-offs at this point, really, really difficult unless it is on these really soft heroes like the Lich, like the Disruptor. Seems like he was just always here to get caught up position, but he's still going to go very quickly towards the Static Storm. So next time, BKB's Orchid on the Golden Boy side, even the Mech of the Shadow Fiend, not going to be super useful. We'll go right into the Roche Pit, clear him up really quickly. We do have a Smoke Up and a positive Weave for Golden Boys. And they may actually get here in time this time. There's a tiny illusion walking around. And it seems like Spartan, he's going to scout out things first. He sees the Slaughter. He's going to put up Static Storm. Will completely miss everything. However, the Slaughter jumps in. He's not going to grab the Aegis. He's going to fall first. The Requiem is going to be charged up. Sonic Wave onto 3 right now. The Tusk, he will fall first. But Excalibur and Tucker, they're both surviving. They're both doing a lot of damage, but not quite enough because of the minus damage from the Shadow Fiend. Excalibur, he has grabbed the Aegis. Now the Chain Frost is going to be deployed. Will kill off the Shadow Fiend in the end. Chihaya Madra is going to blink up to the high ground. Tombstone still is summoning some zombies right now, but just not quite enough. Excalibur going to blink forward. Sees the Wise. Avalanche. Beat down. Toss. Well, eventually you get the kill even through the grave. They have any stuns? They don't have any stuns. Okay, never mind. The Centaur almost getting the stomp. That's why they force-staffed the Gyrocopter in to try to trigger the stomp of the Centaur. Almost an amazing play for NLG. Almost. So close to it, but unfortunately not going to be the case. It is still going to be a 2-for-1. Aegis was used there by Excalibur, but Shadow Fiend is dead, and he's dead for good with no BKB either. He will respawn in 30 seconds. He will have BKB then. But in that time, I'm not really sure if they're going to have a mid lane to work with anymore. Tier 2 tower already down. Static Storm is up in 20. Of course, cooldown is pretty much always up. Excalibur doesn't really mind the silence. Comes back onto Chihaya. That will do nothing. Tower will fall. Now the missiles onto the Queen of Pain. She'll get glimmered out and graved up. She'll survive. She has to go all the way back to the fountain. She has no Sonic Wave. Not agging him just yet. They will kill off the melee racks. Now, well, Tucker in the front lines. We'll get hit with the Crush. Force Staff out, however. Now they have a chance to kill off the Tombstone and Undying both. Tombstone is the first thing to fall right now, even with the Soul Rip. He will not be able to keep that alive. Here comes the Shadow Fiend. He's back in, trying to go for Milan. Will fall short there. This is BKB pop. Just not doing enough damage at this point. Excalibur and Tucker, they're just so tanky at this point. They trap Katy Perry in this shards. It looks like she will probably fall. Now Static Storm onto the Shadow Fiend. He's completely out of resources. He's graved, so he'll survive for a little while longer, but still the Shadow Fiend is not doing enough damage right now. Gyrocopter is still at full HP, and Excalibur is still at half, which is a lot of HP. They'll pick off the Queen of Pain with the Lich, and that's going to be good game. Metagame player has had enough. NLG, the battering ram that is the Tiny. And of course the Gyrocopter overperforming in this game, locking down the fort, and it's going to be 70-31, a 30-minute victory here for NLG. And we're right back on schedule, guys. Big thanks to NLG for winning quickly, I suppose. Shout out to Sparta. Alright guys, this is going to be it for Game 1. This is a best of 2 series, NLG going up against Golden Boys. I'm Mikelorus. It's been a pleasure casting this game for you guys, and I'll be right back for Game 2 between Golden Boys and NLG in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.